Shabuzet, I'm sure you guys are aware of everything that's been going on, and I decided to tell my side of the story. First of all, I'd like to confirm that everything that my baby mama said about me was true. Earlier on this year, I went to a few podcasts, Mpumi Ledwaba's podcast specifically being the first, to kind of try and share the life I was living and the type of mistakes that I did, but also the type of hurt that I caused to a lot of people, including my baby mama. I left out certain details like my son's cancer because I had agreed with her that we wouldn't share that part with the public. And I thought I was honoring her and my son, but maybe it might have come off as me trying to defend myself. So with that being said, I wanted to confirm that as the truth. Might not be the whole truth, but I wanted to take accountability for my part and say that is the truth about the person that I was. It is something I'm not proud of, but it's an important part in my life because that's definitely part of me. It's part of my history, and that's something that I had to grow from, and it's something I had to forgive myself, for. Secondly, I'd like to say, gents, when you make bad decisions in your life, these are the consequences. This is what happens. Not only do you hurt people, but you also don't get to choose how they deal with the pain that you caused them. So I understand the mother of my child coming out and sharing it the way that she shared it. And I hope that it gives her a little peace, because it's not something that you could just grow from immediately. I also hope that this can be an example to more men to say, yo, man, it's time to grow up, change, be accountable and be responsible. With that being said, I'd like to close off, with just saying, I'd like to apologize to the mother of my child. I'd like to apologize to her family. I'd like to apologize to my family and everybody I put in this mess. This is the mess that I've created. And through Jesus Christ, I've been able to forgive myself, rebuild, be accountable, and be a man of honor, be a man of integrity, and give myself a second chance. I still will be sharing more of my testimony as time goes. The truth shall set you free, and I just wanted to say I'm sorry, and hopefully you will find it in you to forgive me one day.
Honestly, guys, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. We all make mistakes. We all screw up. Some are not mistakes. They're intentional things that are cruel that to do to people who we say we love or who we are supposed to love. So who am I to judge, Cassper? And a man who shows remorse, who acknowledges his mistakes, who's not defensive and says, this is who I was. And I have seen the error of my ways, and I have changed, and I take full accountability for what I did when I did it. I screwed up. I messed up. I hurt everybody. I hurt my family, her family. I hurt everybody who was connected to me. I acknowledge that I was wrong. Who am I to further judge? Because if you scrutinize my life, you would find similar things. No one is without sin. No one is perfect. And people will have, I would have judged him if he came on here and became defensive. You did what you did. Take accountability for it. Apologize. Make amends with those you have hurt. And then change your ways. If he changes his ways and makes sure he's there for his son, and does the right things by the baby mama, does the right things by the child, they'll be fine. They will heal and move forward, right? Yeah. So, and I like one of the comments that were made in in Instagram, I forget by who, saying that he was not married to her. And for the portion, yes, it's screwed up that if this happened while the child was going through quite a lot and he was cheating. But I think it's also a reminder to us as women that a man who's not married to you doesn't really owe your faithfulness. He has made no vows, no commitments to be faithful to you, to provide for you, to take care of you, or any of these things. So when we go ahead and we have children with these men who have made absolutely no commitment, then we are also to blame when we are going into issues with men that we've had children with outside of wedlock. Sometimes God, actually most of the time, if not actually all of the time, God puts rules in place to protect us. And it's when we violate those things that we realize exactly why. Like when the Bible says, we must not have sex before marriage, like it's fornication, is to protect, look at it, especially as women. I say this, especially as women, because we end up carrying the burden of looking after the children that we have outside of wedlock with men. And I say this also having had a child outside of wedlock and having also had to bear a burden of looking after my son without his father, who was carrying on with his life, with whoever, and I had to take full care of him, me and my mom, taking care of this child. It is to protect us. It is to protect us. And I think to protect us all, to protect the child, to protect the man, to protect the woman, because a man who's not committed has no obligation to provide, has no obligation to protect, has no obligation, because he never tied himself, never vowed, didn't come to your family and say, I'm taking your daughter and this is what I'm going to do and this is what I vow to you. He made no such commitment. So when we go ahead, and I hear that he begged her to have the child, she still had a choice to say no, put a ring on it, and then we can start our family and move forward. There's a lot to learn here, but one thing I think when we wrap it all up is that Cassper screwed up. He took accountability for his screw up, and we have no right to judge him because we ourselves are screwed up in our own different ways. It's just that social media and everybody of South Africa doesn't know about it. Therefore, we feel very comfortable throwing stones at Cassper because nobody knows our crap and what we are capable of or what we have done in the past. Nobody cares, right? So let's move forward. I forgive him. I forgive him. Man is remorseful. He's changed. As long as he does right by his family, his baby mama, his child, his wife, going forward, it ain't none of my business.